Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. Today, we're going to start with some excellent news. I have been watching our inventory of homes and land for sale steadily get stronger and stronger and stronger. For about 8 weeks, I would check the full list of inventory in our MLS, and we would have right at 400, dipping below 400, being a little above 400, but not much significant movement in terms of how many homes and land we had for sale. So to put that in perspective for you, we would have 400 houses to sell on any given weekend, and there would be 1,300 realtors trying to sell those 400 houses. And you can presume that each of those realtors has 1 or 2, perhaps 5 buyers. So you can start to see how that constricted inventory was creating these multiple offer situations, or perhaps homes selling for much over their asking price. Another contributing factor to the wonky market we were having and people's perhaps reckless behavior when purchasing homes in the last 6 months would be interest rates of 2.5%. 2.75%. You can afford to overpay for a home when you're going to lock in a 2.5% interest rate for 30 years. So people were much more willing to say, well, I have to have a house. So I'm willing to go $15,000 over the asking price because my monthly payment is still going to be less than what I'm paying in rent or less than what I've been paying for my previous home. But that's because their interest rate isn't 4.5% anymore. Their interest rate they're being offered is 2.5% or 2.75%. So that's what we had been seeing for the last 6 months, which was creating this perfect storm for sellers to be able to really maximize their footprint in the market right now. They were a highly coveted commodity because they were one of the few houses on the market. And then coupled up with that would be folks like to move during the summer. They like to move when kids are not in school. They like to move when they can take vacation time and get themselves transitioned. And then the interest rates. The interest rates were so low. It was just unbelievable. And I'll tell you from personal experience, we bought a small investment property a few weeks ago, and we paid a little more than what we had wanted to pay. But we did so because for an investment loan, an investment mortgage product, we were getting 3.3%, which is unheard of for investment property. So I was willing to pay a little bit more because perhaps next year, if I went to buy the same home, I might be getting 4.5%, 5%, something more in line with what investment properties usually are. So we were willing to overpay a little bit. And that is exactly what buyers have been doing. The buyers who aren't have decided to just cool it and wait until the market sort of levels out. And so what I'm hoping I'm seeing is some inventory correction, where now when I'm looking at the hot sheet on Friday night just to assess what my weekend's going to look like, I remember a month ago when I'd look on a Friday night at the hot sheet, there'd be 21 houses on the hot sheet. And I would realize, okay, very easily, I can look through 21 houses and realize there's nothing any of my clients are going to want to see. I'm going to get a free weekend. I don't like free weekends. I like to sell houses on the weekend. So even though my children were delighted and ultimately I loved having that time with them, I wasn't making any money. So now when I'm hitting the hot sheet tomorrow night, I'm going to look specifically to see how many are on the hot sheet tonight, tomorrow night. And I'm hoping to see 70, 80 properties on the hot sheet, which is much more in line with us all being able to be successful and get our buyers into homes. Before I move on to the next item on our agenda, would anybody like to chime in on that? Has anybody been observing that? This is a practice I do all the time. It's just an exercise for me to sort of, we've always talked forever around the office about my dad's gut feel. My dad has run on gut feel his whole entire career as a salesperson, but it's almost always right. Like he cannot know much about a specific property, but he's going to know its value because he has just looked at so many homes and crunched the numbers on the MLS for so many years. He just has that gut feel. And that is what I am trying to learn how to do by just looking at the MLS data. So if I look at the hot sheet every single Friday night of my entire career, I'm going to start to notice and be able to interpret trends in our market. And then I'm able to better advise my clients. If I had not noticed that there were 74 properties last Friday night on the hot sheet, as opposed to 18 properties on the hot sheet from the month prior, I might have given different advice to my buyer that weekend about how to offer. And they may have overpaid. When I've been waiting for this little moment where the market begins to correct itself in terms of inventory. And I think we're there. I hope it stays. I hope people keep putting their house on the market. We will see. Anybody have anything to add or jump in?
I'm going to jump in for just a minute. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Ashley. I know I've been behind my door this morning.
Good morning, Jennifer.
So I had a conversation last night with my appraiser friend, and she's like, Jennifer, I think we're there. She said, houses are not coming in. She said, now I think we've reached the level of pricing, these sellers and the realtors that are pricing these homes, that we're seeing more that are not coming in for appraisal. So I think we're at our top dollar wise on a lot of properties. That's been her experience, her and her husband both. They've had several this week that have not come in.
Meaning they can't find the value that the buyers and the sellers
are
have
paying
agreed as the purchase price.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. Just my little 2 cents there, because I met with her last night.
Well, listen, nobody's happier than the appraisers right now. If everybody can just cool their jets a little bit on this,
She's crazy. She's just as crazy as we are. I mean, they are. The appraisers are just as crazy as we are.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for contributing that thought. So if anybody else has any other questions, we're happy to discuss it. Or, I'm here just to try to help you understand some quick, easy ways that you may be able to, this is what I want you to think about. When I was in real estate about 5 years, I got a call from somebody at the Roanoke Times who wanted to quote me in an article they were doing. And I thought, hell no, I don't know what I'm talking about. And I don't need the entire Roanoke Valley to know I don't really know what I'm talking about, and I'm kind of winging it still. Okay. And that was 5 years into this business. So that kind of grabbed me up by the short hairs and made me realize I better really start looking at what real estate is doing, trends across the country, but most importantly, right here in our own backyard. And that's just very simple to do by just looking at the MLS, running that hot sheet, running the quick search, and just saying just residential homes. Just show me every single residential home in the Valley. And then focusing on an area and just studying what things come on the market. What do they come on the market for? You may have heard me say this before. You don't want to be at a barbecue and somebody say, hey, I would like to buy a house in Southwest County. And you go, great, I'd love to sell you one. And they say, okay, well, our budget's $125,000. And you say, no problem, I can take care of that for you. And then you go run the numbers and realize they have to spend $225,000 to get a house in Southwest County. Because then you have to go back to them and first disappoint them that they can't afford a home in the area they want to live in. And secondly, you didn't really know what you were talking about. So yes, that all comes with experience. But if I had waited around until I had organically sold a home in every area so that I could learn about that area, I don't think I would know the market as well as I do. So for me, it was just faking it. I was just going to get on the MLS and look at properties. I was going to go tour properties every week. So with the pandemic loosening up and people getting a little more comfortable with people being in their homes, it's a great time to get back to previewing properties. Pick vacant homes if you want. Search an area. You can look on the MLS and search a specific area, like Northeast City, Southwest County, and pick an area and go see 5 vacant homes that are on the market in that area. Now, you're lucky if you can find 5, but as I've said, the inventory is loosening up. So this would be a great opportunity to go and just preview some homes. Now you'll know what $225,000 is going to buy you in Southwest County. Is it going to get you granite countertops and updated kitchens? Or is it going to get you a 1985 split foyer that has not had any upgrades yet? These are important things to know. And it just starts to give you that gut feel that really just turns out to be market experience and market knowledge. So that's what I'm going to encourage you to do. So let's talk a little bit about how the market shifting to a little bit more of a level playing field for buyers and sellers should mean you need to adjust your strategies for making offers for your buyers. So the last 3 months has been us chatting on these calls about how to position our buyers' offers into the most palatable presentation possible, where we feel like our buyers will come out ahead of others, because we're competing. We're competing, and we may still be competing, but I'm hopeful that it is now going to be a rarity rather than the regular for a listing to sell in 24 hours with 6 offers. So what I'm hopeful for is now we're still always going to be competitive for our buyers, but we don't need to be crazy competitive or give what I call stupid money. So what I have been doing and will continue to do and do a little more earnestly now is if a home goes on the market and I go show it quickly, I'm still going to go show it quickly. I'm not going to trust that the pinup demand is not still going to mean really good houses sell very, very quickly, because I think really good houses are still going to sell very, very quickly because there is a lot of pinup demand, and they're going to be buyers coming into the market who are new to the market, but we're going to have a lot of buyers coming back into the market who kind of were like, you know what, I'm emotionally exhausted. I'm gonna just chill until this thing levels out. Well, they may be coming back into the market now. You know, if you guys all now communicate to your buyers today, excellent news, inventory is up. You know, would you like to go take a look at a few houses again? That's going to bring those buyers back into the market, which is a great thing. So I'm still going to consider timing to be of the essence. So I'm going to get my buyers in there quickly. If we want to make an offer on the home, I am going to go ahead and call the listing agent and introduce myself and let them know that my buyers liked the house. My buyers are considering making an offer. And has that listing agent decided when they will be reviewing offers, and have they received any other offers? Now, if the listing agent says, you know, it's our wishes to leave it on the market all weekend and we're going to review offers Sunday night, great. If it's Friday afternoon and they're telling me that, I'm not going to submit my buyer's offer until Sunday. Now, I'm running the risk that that seller gets a really irresistible offer and decides to accept it prior to Sunday night, and that is their prerogative. That seller did not make a promise on paper that they're not going to review offers until Sunday night, okay? It's not a legally binding contract that they are going to review offers on Sunday night. They've said they will, but if somebody comes in and offers them something too irresistible to give up, they're going to take it. So I'm running that risk with my buyers, and I'm telling them this, but the offer we would make Friday afternoon could be dramatically different than the offer we would make Sunday afternoon. Because by Saturday night, I'm going to message the listing agent and say, hey, how many offers now? And if they say 5, we're going to structure that offer a little differently than if they say 1. Okay. Additionally, when the market was nutso and I would call and find out there were 7 offers on Saturday night, by Sunday afternoon, there might only be 3. They might have decided to pull their offer. They may have decided to offer on something else, right? Things change. So I'm guiding my buyer that we're going to go ahead and prime up our offer. We're going to have it ready to go. And we're going to go ahead and decide what we want to be our most competitive offer. But we may tweak that or dial it back a little or step it up a little, depending on what information I get from the listing agent on Sunday afternoon. Now, I'm still going to make sure I send it over a few hours prior to offer deadline, because I don't want to be that agent who's like, just wait on me, it's coming, I swear. And it's really because I was, goofing off Sunday afternoon. So I'm going to make sure I've got it to the the listing agent with plenty of time for them to print it out, organize it. Perhaps they're using a spreadsheet for the multiple offers. So, I don't need to be the annoying agent who, oh, and then there's also this other one, it just came in. So I'm going to get it to them with enough advance time, because that's just best business practice for me to show professional courtesy. But I'm going to make sure I have the opportunity to tweak that offer closer to deadline time, because again, everything may have changed, right? I had several buyers over the period of the last 3 months pull their offers and say, you know what, Ashley, we just got heartburn. I know we submitted that offer because we were nervous we were going to lose it, but we don't want to pay that much. And so I would have to call and rescind our offer. So that does happen. So I'm going to make sure I find out closer to offer deadline time, what's the situation now? I'm going to open it up to any questions about that or any stories you guys want to tell, while I just make sure I hit all my points on my agenda here. Anybody have anything to add? As always, looks like my mouth did more work than my agenda, so I covered everything. Yes, Rhonda. Do you want me to ask to unmute you?
Okay.
Hi, Rhonda.
Hey, I just want to add that an example of that is this weekend, I had multiple offers on that house here at the lake, and we even agreed to allow some people drive from Connecticut here to see the house. Now, we didn't take it off the market. We said, but we'll wait and give you time to come down here and take a look at it. They were very strong. Cash, full price, just let us come view it. Guess what? They got here.
Yeah.
They changed their mind.
Yeah.
But that's okay. We had other offers, but it's just an example of how, they were just all in. Please give us time to take a look at it. And we honored that, which I think is good. But thankfully we had other offers and it wasn't a big deal after all. But it's just, how did they go from we're dying to get this house, and then they get here and go, nah.
Now the anxiety of those of us selling houses during peak pandemic, where like one of my clients couldn't even get out of Florida. And so I had to go pick her house and FaceTime her house to her. And she didn't even see it for another 3 months. And the whole time I was like, la, 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 la. I hope you like your house. Please like your house. I mean, yeah. Well, I'm glad you got it under contract. That's excellent.
Yes.
But, you're absolutely right. And there was a small risk there that one of those other offers who were like, no, I gave you a bona fide offer. Why are we waiting around for these other people? They could have gotten frustrated and pulled their offer, and then you're left with nothing, which is why prior to this weird pandemic market, prior to that, my advice always was work the one you have in hand. If you can make the one you have in hand work it, because you don't know really what the next 48 hours holds. However, in this market, I get they're selling so fast. We've had to try to say, hold on, let's at least have an open house on Sunday to give everyone the opportunity to see it.
Right.
And that truly sometimes was for the seller's best interest. Sometimes it wasn't. And the seller on Saturday morning said, nope, I'm taking that offer. It's too good. And then everybody's frustrated on Sunday because they thought they were going to be able to come in and see it. It's been a hard emotional roller coaster for the agents and the buyers and the sellers. Yep. I'm glad
I'm also working with someone right now who's another agent, and she's been telling me for 3 days that she's got something coming.
Yeah. Listen, I've had those buyers before, and she's not lying to you. It's just, getting your buyer pinned down sometimes can be the challenge.
But I have another offer, so I have to go. I'm working with them.
That's right. Yep. Thank you for participating, Rhonda. Rita,
And
did,
I also, on that little note, real quick, before I
Yeah.
have to run out of here, sellers change their mind. Okay. And they may tell you, listing agent, that we're going to wait and we're going to review offers on Monday,
Mhm.
and that the listing went active on Friday. They could change their mind. They could change their mind on Saturday. And it has happened to me. My poor buyer had to take a vacation day to see this house because the only appointment was available was during like the middle of the day. So he took a vacation day to see this house, and then we get a call that morning. Hey, we just accepted an offer. I know we were not reviewing them until later on in the week, but we just accepted an offer. I'm so sorry. It was too late. He had already taken a vacation day. So, I mean, they can change their mind, and you just have to, that listing agent has to do what's best for their client and what they ask you to do. So as much as it stinks, you just got to roll with the punches sometimes.
yes, I guarantee you that listing agent was not being like, woohoo, got a ratified contract. They were like, oh man,
They did not want to make those phone
I
calls,
gotta
I'm
call
sure.
those agents and tell. Yes. And at the peak pandemic, I had a weird one. We just had lightning in a bottle for that one weekend where I sold a house in Northeast City, a little brick ranch, for $25,000 more than anybody ever thought it would go for. And I had some irritated buyer's agents who had offered what they thought at the time was stupid money for this house. We didn't know how stupid all the money was going to get. This was like April of last year. And I had them calling me back after when it recorded saying, you got, 225 for that or whatever. And I had lots of them saying it must've been cash. There's no way that appraised. And I'm like, nope, it appraised. We were surprised too. But we just didn't know how crazy the market was truly going to get. And we just kept climbing. So we'll see what the next 2 years of recovery looks like. I'll be right here with you to try to figure it out. And Rita, did you have something to add? No? Okay. You just looked very engaged. I appreciate that.
But I will say,
Yes.
I'm meeting to list a 5-acre riverfront lot today with underground utilities.
Ooh.
Just thought I'd mention that.
Is it in a subdivision?
Yes, it's in a subdivision in Glade Hill.
Okay.
And
does it have an HOA or a POA, a property owners association? Or okay.
It does, but it's fairly reasonable.
Great.
And it's got $250 a year POA fee. So,
Okay.
but if anybody has anybody who's looking for a riverfront lot, around 40,000.
Wow, for 5 acres?
I know, right? But
For
you have to
5?
sink your own. Yeah, you have to put your own well and septic in.
Yes. But still,
I know
that
it'd be a
seems
big
like
deal.
a heck of a deal. That's great. But sadly, I doubt the Property Owners Association will let me plop a little tiny house there and have a 5-acre.
Yeah, I think the restrictions are like,
Mhm.
I mean, you have to have, it can't be like a mobile home, but you
Right.
could put a modular home down there. I think it's 1,250 square feet.
So just
I mean, it doesn't have to be huge.
for any new agents, when you do find that this is why I was asking if there was a property owners or homeowners association. There are 2 ways property can be restricted for usage. One is deed restrictions. That means in the deed, it will say something like, no homes smaller than 1,500 square feet, or no more than 1 primary dwelling on the property. And then there's also property owners associations and homeowners associations, which you're more familiar with. But deed restrictions are very common as well. And they're used the same way property owners and homeowners association restrictions are used, which is just to control the usage of the property. So, a builder might want to come in there and say, I'm going to buy that 5-acre parcel, and now I'm going to split it up into 10, half-acre building lots. But the deed restrictions may forbid that. So the deed restrictions are forever until you can get all, you have to get a certain number of people to agree to change the deed restrictions. It can't just be the single property owner says, I'm going to change the deed restrictions. Otherwise they would have no power, so always keep in mind that even if there isn't a homeowners association or a property owners association on a property, there may very well be deed restrictions. And there was some land one of our agents had for sale a couple of years ago, and it kept getting buyers who wanted to buy it, but the deed restrictions forbid anything other than one primary dwelling. There were multiple people who wanted to build like a little collection of tiny houses or a primary house and an Airbnb house. And all of that was forbidden. It also had additional restrictions, even though it was in the county, it had deed restrictions against having any form of livestock or more than 2 dogs. So that's because the lady who owned the acres and acres and acres, who subdivided it all, she was still going to be living there, and she wanted all of that property to be handled the way she wanted it to be handled. So she was able to enact those deed restrictions on all of those parcels so that she could restrict the usage of the property around herself. So just so you know, that exists. Great talking point, Rita. Thank you. And I hope it sells really fast. All right. I'm going to mute everybody again, and we're going to get to my Get Business Quick idea. So I usually reserve this Get Business Quick idea theme for our new agent training, but since we were only doing one training today because I've had no sleep and Jennifer's had no sleep, and we go in for our 6-hour tax appointment today, and tomorrow is my favorite day of the year because I don't have to go to the CPA's office again. I'm going to go ahead and bring you the Get Business Quick idea here. If you have a Facebook business page, and you have a personal page, it's a great idea if you feel like using Facebook for business. It's a great idea to friend all of your past clients. And then you can set up a private Facebook group and invite all of your past clients to your private Facebook group. And you can call it whatever you want to call it, invite them to join, and then you can put bonus content that isn't on your business page and isn't on your personal page, things that are intended only for your past clients. And it can be some things like a recipe or a quick little video of you making your favorite grilled cheese, whatever. It can also be a place where you can control how many free cups of coffee you give away. You may have seen that a lot of insurance agents, lenders, real estate agents are giving out those SKUs now that are good for one cup of coffee at a local coffee shop or a beer at a local brewery. There are ways to do that, and you can put that just on your private Facebook group and go ahead and gift a cup of coffee to all of your past clients, on National Coffee Day or whatever it is, a free Krispy Kreme, whatever it is you've decided you want to do. You also can go ahead and say, okay, there's an ice cream parlor in town. Go ahead and talk to the ice cream parlor owner and say, I want to have a special, scan card here. I'm going to pay up to $100 for scoops of ice cream. And then publicize that on your past client private Facebook group and say, hey, for the whole month of August, stop by the Dilly Dally or stop by the Salem Ice Cream Parlor and pick up a free scoop of ice cream on me. And then and you can put in there, once the money's gone, the money's gone. So get there quick. And then just give all your past clients a free scoop of ice cream for the month of August. Little things like that can be a reason that they continue to enjoy interactions with you. And they'll continue to see you as a community resource. So you can post on there where the mobile DMV is going to be that month. You can post on there the baseball schedule. You can put whatever you want to put on there. You can showcase a local business. Things you would be doing on your Facebook business page, but tweak it and make it a little more special because it's for a smaller group of clientele. Every once in a while, ask for a referral, right? And just see if there's anybody who they think might like to buy a house through you and then be added to the private Facebook group. So that's just an idea of one more thing you can do to kind of continue to spoil your past clients and stay top of mind with them. I know a lot of realtors who only work on referral basis only. They don't buy leads. And they really spoil their past clients. You don't have to spend a ton of money on them. You can spend attention on them, or y'all have heard me talk in the past about how in the fall, I drop a flower plant, a mum on everybody's front porch who's ever bought a house from me before, with just a little note that I've made on Canva with my headshot on it. Just wishing them a happy autumn, letting them know that I'm thinking about them and their beautiful home. And they're well received. Many of them put a little picture of their kid with the mom on Facebook and tag me in it and thank me. And all of that is just a way to thank them for their continued business, keeps me top of mind, and then gives me some free advertising on Facebook if they feel the need to, post that out there. So this is just another way to continue to curate and take care of your past client base. Okay. Anybody have any questions about that, or has anybody done that or done anything similar to that before? Okay. I'm going to stop recording and I'm going to open it up to any new business or questions anybody has.